I'm Phil from Phil's Camping Reviews. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. The last video I filmed was on the King's BatBlock 25, and in that video I mentioned about a kit that you can purchase from King's that makes it easier to wire it to your car, because the BatBlocks, whether it's the 25 or the 40, comes with a DCDC charger. Those DCDC chargers included with your BatBlocks, whether it's the 25 or the 40 amp, includes a Anderson type plug in for your DCDC input from your charge battery. So when you wire these to the car, you have to run this cable leads, a negative and a positive, from your charger battery via a fuse inside your car or externally, wherever you've mounted the BatBlock, and it plugs into this special type Anderson plug. And on the side of the BatBlock, if you have a look here, it shows where that plug goes in. King's put out a kit make that easier for you, so you don't have to make your own wiring kit. And that's what this video is about today. One day we went into the local King's store there and we saw the BatBlocks on sale. I saw these kits here. Initially I first saw the 25 amp premium plug and play DC-DC wiring harness. It just so happens that this is for the BatBlock, just to make it easier to connect the system up. So any Joe Blow, just about, you don't have to have a computer degree or an electrician to go and wire these up, because it's a 12 volt system, guys. It's a 12 volts, not 240, it's 12 volts. So you can wire these up yourself. So not only are you saving money on these BatBlocks, you're also going to save the money on the installation. And to be frank, guys, quite often the installation can actually cost more than the products you're installing in your vehicle itself, especially if you want to do it properly. King's have come out with this ready-made wiring kit here that makes it a lot easier to do that, as you can see here. So 50 amp premium plug and play DC-DC wiring harness. Everything you need is in here. There's a 25 amp, there's a 50 amp. Even though my mate Mark purchased the BatBlock 25 amp DC-DC charger, I recommend pay a little bit extra and go for this 50 amp kit. Now the reason I recommend that is because it's using a much thicker cable and you're going to have a lot less drop voltages. Okay, so that's what you need to be careful with long runs of cables, is to not lose too much voltage by the time it gets to your DC-DC charger, because it's recommended to have the DC-DC charger as close as you can to the battery that you're charging. In the case with the BatBlock, it's very close. I mean, it's within a foot. I doubt there'd be more than a foot of cable that's connecting that DC-DC charger to your battery. Now this will make sure you don't lose too much voltage, especially if you have to extend the length of this cable. It's particularly if you've got a long wheelbase and you want to install your BatBlock way up the back. Probably going to find this is not quite long enough, especially if you locate the BatBlock towards the back end of the vehicle. So you want to then extend the lead. It's really important that the cables are thick enough so you don't lose the voltages. This will assist that. What I like about this is that a heavy duty 50 amp midi fuse. I like the midi fuses. I don't like those fuses that's got those rubber connectors in them and where you push the fuse into them. I've seen one of those blade type fuse holders, those rubberized plastic ones, melt. And even though it was wired correctly, it had a fuse in there that should have popped before that melted. So I think in the case with the vehicles, it's very important that you use the quality midi fuses, which has got the big blade fuses. You don't want to use with a high draw, particularly like this. You don't want to be using those with the rubber plastic connectors. I've done a video on this. This one here is set up. It's got everything you need. It's got the fuses included, and it's also got these fuse taps. If you've got a vehicle with a smart alternator on it, what that means is that you're going to have to use one of these wires to tap into a live ignition point when you turn the key on. With a DC-DC charger, conventional DC-DC charger, when it sees a voltage coming from your charging system, from your starter battery, in excess of say around about 14.2 thereabouts volts, then that DC-DC charger will turn on. And then when that voltage is down below, could be 13.5, 13.2, 12.8, depends on the DC charger itself, then that DC-DC charger will switch off. And that's how it knows when to charge, because when you turn your car on, your car's going to be up on a higher voltage. When you turn it off, the battery voltage drops down, so your DC-DC charger will shut down. Because if it doesn't shut down, you're going to have a flat battery in no time at all. A smart car, the voltage, when you turn the car on, the voltage doesn't rise. It stays low, and it always stays low most of the time. So on a conventional DC-DC charger that's wired in that way, if it's wired the conventional way, your DC-DC charger needs to see a voltage of something around above 14 or thereabouts volts. I'm not sure what the exact voltage is, but it's not going to turn on because it's not going to see those voltages. Hence, it means your battery's not going to be charging. So what you do when you've got a smart alternator is that you have to wire this into a live circuitry. So when you turn the key on, it's live. When you turn it to accessories, it switches off. When you turn it off, it switches on. So that way it tells the unit, it tells the DC-DC charger, hey, the car is on, let's charge. And then when you turn it off, bang, the car is off, so it's got no power point. Now, to make it easy, Kings have included these 4x fuse taps and additional ignition wiring included. Is that there are like a piggyback system from your fuse box. So you go to your fuse box, which will be inside the car, in your dashboard, under your dashboard, anywhere inside the car, or it could also be in your engine bay. You look for your standard size blade fuses, and in there you look for one that turns on, powers on when the car is on run, when the car starts. So which does not include accessories. It has to be off when it's accessories. So you want a fuse that only powers on when the car is running. So then you piggyback, you remove that fuse, and then what you do is you plug this adapter in. It makes a single fuse into a double fuse. So you then put that you took out, that's live, that comes on when the car's starting. You take that off, you plug this adapter in, you plug that fuse into that, and then you plug another fuse, which comes with this one. I'm not sure what size it is, that protects that wiring. That makes it a lot easier. It's also got a 3-pin Anderson plug, which is perfect for the BatBlock or the premium control box. Cables is a 6 meter cable. It's a 6 AUG, and this is the reason why I recommend to go for the 50 amp, because it's got the 6 AUG cable. Now, of course, if you've only got a fairly smallish run, and you're using the 25 amp DCDC, and you don't have to extend the wire, you'll be right to use the 25 amp as long as you don't have to extend that wire. So do yourself a favor, check these out. If you're starting out, you're on a budget, Kings is the way to go. Warranty claims, they got stores pretty much around Australia, and otherwise if you have any problems you can always post it back to them. The premium wiring kit for the BatBlock, save yourself a few dollars. Buy the already made, and just a couple of minor skills required. If you're not confident enough in wiring this, take it to your auto electrician. Honestly, they should have it wired up half hour instead of 4, 5, even up to 10 hours in wiring a system from scratch. So, till next time guys, any questions, put in a comment below. Also, let me know in the comments below, do you own this kit? Do you own the BatBlock? What do you think of it? What's your experience with it? I'm keen to know the longevity or what sort of life it is. How did you buy this kit? Did you wire it yourself, or did you take it to your auto electrician? How long did they take to wire it in? So let me know, comment down below. Till next time guys, cheers, bye.